in the dining room.
Yo guys, welcome back to another Everything Bar and Service. My name is Braden, and today I'm going to be talking about something that happens in, I feel like, most restaurants. It doesn't matter if the building is brand new. It doesn't matter if the building is old. It doesn't matter if the building is in between that, in between new and old, whatever you call that. But yeah, it pretty much throws a huge wet wrench into the middle of normal operations. So if you want to find out what this is, listen up. Let's go. So pretty much what I'm talking about is when the damn drains start rising and the water from the depths below just start seeping into your crazy ass daily operations. Now, what do you do when this happens? Well, there's not much you can do but panic. I'm just kidding. Please do not panic. It's really not that big of a deal. All right, so let's just go ahead and cut to the story. It was a Friday night. It was Friday night in the middle of Hell Week, and we were full restaurant, 200 plus people in the restaurant and people walking in the door. We had a huge wait going on. So yeah, it was probably about an hour wait with close to, 150, maybe a little less, maybe around 100 people on the wait list. So 200 plus in the restaurant, 100 plus waiting. One of the kitchen managers comes to me and he's like, hey, you know where the snake is? As in the drain snake that goes into the drains to unclog something. I was like, I think I might have an idea where it's at. Why? What's up? He's like, no big deal, but there's some water starting to stand. So comes to find out, I go and walk into the kitchen and I look at every single drain and there's probably this much water sitting on top of the drains. So it's not like spilling out onto the floor yet, but it's just kind of hovering there. I was like, oh, well, that's not good. I was like, all right, well, let's go find the snake. So I go find the snake, come back. I also come back with a shop vac, just, you never know. And so we start snaking this thing, snaking the drains in the back, in the prep area. And we're snaking, and this thing is kind of old and it's not really getting, so we managed to pull like one bag, like there was a plastic bag in there, and we pulled that out and the water went down just a little bit. But 5 minutes later, it's like it's just right back where it was and continuing to rise. So at this point, I'm like, yep, time to call the plumber immediately. So while we're waiting on the plumber, the water is getting tremendously worse. And what do you do in this situation? You're waiting on a plumber, you're at maximum capacity in a large restaurant and you have a large wait. And you can't really exactly just shut it down. Like what are you gonna do? You're gonna piss off 300, 400 people just because you're waiting on the plumber to get there? Like, no, you have to keep going and you have to keep trucking on through. Unfortunately, the drains were not getting any better. There was zero water flowing out of the building, so it was just backing up. Now, this water was not from sewage or anything like that. This was just from the pipes, from basically like the dishwasher and the hoses and the hand washing sink and stuff like that, that kind of water. So in the meantime, I have me and my busser running around with a 16-gallon, I think it held like 16 gallons or 26 gallons or something like that, a 16-gallon shop vac. And we're just running around, and I'm on the expo line because expo is pretty much where all the servers walk by and the expediters are working, so it's pretty important to not be underwater there. So desperately, we're plugging in the shop vac, and I'm just going down in the drain and sucking as much water as fast as possible to just try to counteract it so it doesn't get any higher. We sit here and running around with this big hose. I actually have a video of it here. So yeah, running around with the nasty ass shop vac, just trying to suck all the water off of the floor. And yeah, so you can only imagine that was not very fun. It's not ideal what you want to do in the middle of a dinner rush. There's probably thousands of gallons in these lines, these drain lines, that 16 gallons at a time is really not going to do much. At least I could say I was trying. Okay, finally the plumber gets there, and we're like, dude, come on, check it out. Like we almost have water going into the dining room. So let's figure this out as fast as possible. The management staff was like, all right, if he cannot figure this out, we're probably going to have to figure out how to shut this place down, because obviously you cannot operate like this longer than, you know, an hour. I mean, honestly, like, but the plumber was there and there was hope in sight, and he finally, you know, he was snaking the drains. He had a bigger badass snake that he was draining, and he finally figured it out after probably 30 minutes of just looking at it and snaking and pulling off tops of drains and stuff like that. And turns out there was a drain in the parking lot. He took the cap off and water started coming out and just going straight into the parking lot. And he was like, I found it. So I run back inside, and sure enough, all of the drains were just, and heaven beholds, we were once more not underwater. So we could start calming down and going back to normal operations. Thank God. So in the comments below, let me know what you would have done. Would you shut down the entire restaurant and cleared out everybody until the problem was solved in the middle of a dinner rush? Or would you have done what we done and just kind of truck through and hold on just a little bit longer until the plumber got there and fixed it, and then the problem was solved? So that pretty much sums up this week's Everything Bar and Service. I hope you liked it. I hope you stayed dry. That was so lame. I hope you stayed dry. That was the lamest joke I've ever done, but hey,